If you could live forever, would you?
Yes.
Okay, we're
Don't
done
even
with
have
the
to
interview.
finish the sentence.
Yes. No, okay, sure, that's an attractive idea. But the way I look at it is the knowledge that I'm going to die that creates the focus that I bring to being alive. The urgency of accomplishment, the need to express love now, not later. If we live forever, why ever even get out of bed in the morning? Because you always have tomorrow. That's not the kind of life I want to lead.
But why don't you fear not being around?
I fear living a life where I could have accomplished something and didn't. That's what I fear. I don't fear death.
You don't fear the unknown.
I love the unknown. I love the. You know what I want on my tombstone? My sister has this in her notes, just in case I can't tell anyone after I die. On my tombstone, a quote from Horace Mann, great educator. Be ashamed to die until you have scored some victory for humanity.
Hello and welcome here on my YouTube channel, Hexicans. And today I have Furu Finance in the live stream. Today we will be talking about tips and tricks on how to make money in crypto. And obviously we will also talk about Hex, Pull Chain, Richard Hart, about all those amazing things that we are all waiting for. So with no further ado, let's bring Furu Finance up right away. Hey Furu, how's it going?
Good. Thanks so much for having me on.
So I have a lot of things prepared for you. I have a lot of tabs open from recent activities in the Hex ecosystem. We have the testnet update of Richard Hart. We have the price pumping like crazy, whales coming in. I have a lot of questions here prepared to show the people out there how do we teach cryptocurrency to our onboards, because this is your profession, right? This is what you are doing. You are onboarding like crazy. And this is why the first question, Furu, why don't you say a little bit who you are, where you're coming from, and what especially you are doing in the Hex community.
So I originally was, I came in here, I think I was onboarded maybe about a little bit over a year ago. Maybe it's like a year and a half already. But first saw Richard Hart on Kitco News. I was a big fan of Kitco News. I was already into crypto. I'm like, wow, he knows what he's talking about. And the price kept going up, and I thought that it would keep going up because I already listened to him on kind of the top call and got out of my crypto, and I made some decent gains there. And then I saw, Bitcoin was down 50% and Hex just kept going up. So I'm thinking like, this is perfect. It's correlated. So I kind of got in at that higher prices, but I dollar cost averaged, and that's where that's sort of how I got into Hex. Obviously started the YouTube channel in the summer because I was learning more and more, becoming more and more passionate about it. And recently I've been a TikTok promoter and TikTok content creator as well. I've been very passionate about that because I think during the bear market, it is second to none in terms of marketing. It's the most cost effective and it is the most effective. So yeah, that's really where I am now. I stream also every day at 12 p.m. Eastern time on my channel at Furu Finance. Yeah.
And later on, we will also talk about the things that you are doing with onboarding especially. So why don't you talk a little bit about that really quick, about your domain that you have and about the services that you provide to all the people out there?
Yeah, so I mean, I have my website, furufinance.com. I do one-on-ones. In fact, so it's very good for people at all levels wanting to know all things about crypto. you can book a free 15-minute session with me if you just go to my website. And I basically, what I say is the goal is to get you from where you are to where you want to be. A lot of people come to this space, myself included, and they lose. I think part of just joining crypto is just losing a lot of money and doing things that, you know, are very amateur and very stupid, that lose you a lot of money very quickly. And to find good information, it's not unattainable, but it is very difficult to attain. It takes a lot of time, right? Like I remember when I was first learning about Hex, to get answers to like specific things I had in mind, specific questions I had, I often had to, you know, end up going through hours and hours of live streams from Richard Hart and yourself and like all those things. And so kind of what I'm doing with the service is kind of trying to be a one-stop shop and to teach you to answer all your questions. And, you know, and I'll be like the one-stop shop, so you could come to me with any of your questions and I can give my opinion on that as someone who's already been through everything and spent, you know, hundreds of hours, I guess you could say, you know, learning everything that I need to know today. So yeah, that's really what I do. I also have a Patreon. I've been doing courses, basically starting from the ground, you know, starting from Bitcoin, even though Bitcoin, you know, we don't like Bitcoin as maybe an investment, as a way of getting wealthy very quickly at this point. It is the cornerstone of understanding blockchain technology, which obviously builds to where we are with Hex and Pulse Chain and PulseX and all those things, decentralized applications. So it is blockchain in its most basic form. It's the easiest way to learn blockchain, and it is the foundation for understanding further things. So then I did a course on Ethereum, on decentralized exchanges. We're working our way up to Hex. We did, and all the derivatives and everything like that. So if you join the Patreon, you know, I got some great benefits there. Also, meetings with the community and everything like that. So that's really what I've been doing in terms of my personal, I guess, business, so to speak. You know, to make money in the meantime before we moon, and you know.
I think it's really important what you're doing, and it helps a lot, because for new investors, when they get into crypto, you are 100% right. It is almost impossible to find good information, you know, that is really condensed, that makes you do the right things in crypto. If you follow anybody in YouTube and social media, they will tell you to buy Bitcoin and Ethereum, and where are the life-changing gains? They are nowhere to be found. So that's why it's important to, you know, follow somebody like Richard Hart, like you, who has all the knowledge from Richard Hart for hours and hours and hours. And yes, I am on your side here. We have to talk about Bitcoin. We have to talk about Ethereum. Hex then and Pulse Chain comes later on, but we have to understand those first principles of crypto before we get into the real stuff, right? And you were just mentioning the Kitco interview with Richard Hart, and I have made a short video of that. So let's play that really quick. And I think this will be a nice introduction for all the topics that we have in a second. So let's do that.
Don't know what Hex is. What is the mission of Hex? Why did you design it the way you did?
So Bitcoin tried to be digital cash. Cash is about $5 trillion printed. Time deposits is 7.2 trillion. So time deposits is a larger market than printed cash. Hex is the best and first attempt at turning time deposits and monetizing time, putting that on the blockchain. So what's like the second, what's the most popular product at your bank? Savings account. Okay, what's probably the second most popular? Time deposits, which is just a savings account plus a time lock. They pay you extra interest. So all Hex is Bitcoin with a proof of work change. Bitcoin inflates to reward miners to destroy the environment and dump the price. Hex inflates to reward stakers to lock up coins and protect the price. That's it. They're two coins that inflate single digit percentages. One blows up the environment, one protects the price, which is perhaps why our price slaughters Bitcoin's price and Ethereum's price slaughters everything. I mean, we're up, 75x versus Ethereum now after the dump. We're up 250x versus Bitcoin now after the dump.
For those of us,
I think this is a beautiful video of Richard Hart, because he makes it so clear that, with Hex, he did not reinvent the wheel. He just looked what worked in the legacy market, which is certificate of deposits. They are more worth than gold, for example. And he looked what works in crypto, which is Bitcoin. And now he combines that so elegantly with the first certificate of deposit, we call Hex, right? So Furu, what is your favorite part of the Hex game theory?
Well, first of all, let me just say that that short is excellent. All the shorts that you made and you Dropboxed me, those things are being recycled. People are reposting them in the Telegram, which I actually posted in the private chat and hope everyone can get in, where everybody posts their shorts and their TikToks, and they all, they post it for everyone to see, and everybody sees it in the Telegram and likes it, reposts it, comments, boosts engagement like crazy. The thing that we realize is that you can't just post it as is. You have to make you have to change it up a little bit, because the algorithm will shadow ban the video if they see it's a double. So it's a little bit zoomed in. There's maybe a little bit of music in there, but you have been getting millions of views on those videos, just slightly tweaked and things like that. But it's unbelievable the difference that it's made. Whenever people don't know where to start, it is sort of like the Bible for getting started creating Richard Hart shorts. I just refer them to the Dropbox, and it is making a huge difference. In fact, there was somebody, he posted one of your TikToks. He tweaked it a little bit, and it got, and basically I went to his account. I'm like, I like what he's doing. I'm going to mention him on one of my streams. And he's like, could you share my Twitter also? I'm like, you get to 10,000 views, I'll show your Twitter. And in fact, yesterday he got 10,000 views. This is an account with 50 followers on TikTok getting 10,000 views. I've never gotten 10,000 views on any of my YouTube videos with over 3,000 subscribers. So it goes to show both what a difference you've been making with those shorts. I don't know if you've realized that you're getting millions of views on them.
I didn't know that. Thanks for sharing. And that's why I went here to pumphex.com, because if somebody is interested in downloading the Richard Hart short videos that I made, then now you can go to pumphex.com and download them here. It's a zip file, and that's the best way to do it, because in the Telegram chat that I just posted into the chat here, Hex TikTok Sandy Shorts
and YouTube and YT Shorts.
And YT Shorts. It's a really long name. Maybe we can work on that a little bit. There, I don't know if the Dropbox link will always work. I already had some people saying, "Hey, the link doesn't work." Here on pumphex.com, it will always work. But thanks for this feedback that you have to change the video a little bit. That makes sense. So there are not too many copies on TikTok. I know they don't like that.
Yeah, did you see KDP tweeted Hex Crypto got 3.2 million views on TikTok, the hashtag Hex Crypto, just in 1 month. And that's a lot to do with your TikToks that you created and distributed, and obviously the Telegram. So it's something that I'm very proud of. So
thank you.
You should obviously also be.
And all of that then results into what we are seeing here, into the price pumping. Like, even we are in a bear market, the price is going up like crazy in Hex. What do you think that is? I think it's really obvious that it is a tweet of Richard Hart, testnet coming out, but obviously I think it is also the community that is just onboarding more and more people over the last couple of months. Because let's zoom out here a little bit. I think this is not the whole chart here. So let's go to Uniswap. I just want to make a quick point here really quick. So when we started with Hex here in December 2019, until the all-time high in this area here, we onboarded around 60,000 people. Can I make a... So until here, we onboarded 60,000 people. And from the all-time high during the whole bear market until today, we also onboarded 60,000 people. The only thing that changed is that the price was going down. And where other coins normally lose people or are not able to onboard more people, we onboard the same amount, which is, I think, is just crazy. Really, really good.
Yeah, that's what Crypto Coffee called the bullish divergence, right? Onboards going up and price going down, and that's obviously a very bullish indicator.
And now we are seeing here the price going to 7 cents, got rejected already twice. Let's see if this is really a rejection line, or if we are able to break through, and then there is no limit to the moon, I believe. So let's talk a little bit here about the testnet V3 coming out. To me, it feels so close. It's like months, and no months anymore, but weeks. Like, this is how it feels to me. What do you think?
Yeah, I think a lot of people are very negative in the comments. Well, there's a lot of positivity, first of all, because one, there's updates, and two, there's been some mad gains over the past couple months. A lot of people are saying, why would this time be any different? Because we've been getting it's 2 months away for so long, but people have to realize that back in May, obviously, I think there was this sense that time is on my side, right? Richard Hart's basically thought Bitcoin's going to 11K. It's at 40,000 right now. We have a long way to go. Time is on my side. So I can, make the adjustments that I want, and they obviously switched the whole network from BSC to ETH 2.0 and things like that. This time is different because, we've already been in a bear market. I mean, the top's been over a year ago. So I don't think there is that sense of time being on his side. There is more of a sense of urgency. I think he wants to get it out. I think we're very, very close. So I definitely agree with that.
And that's why I think as well. And he says that the last stage is completed. They were able to fix the bug, and now there are how many more stages to go? I believe like 8 more stages to go. Right? We are in halftime when we, so to speak, for testnet v3, and then when testnet v3 is out, I think the price will just rally until then. And then after v3 is out, maybe it takes like a month or two until like Pulse Chain comes out. But it's going to be really interesting to see where the prices are going for sure. So let's see what else I have prepared. Just a couple of tabs before we go into the questions and before we then later on talk about what Furu Finance is doing. Here's another thing that people can download on pumphex.com. All my GIFs, all my memes are available for you guys to download, free content that you guys can use. Like he is here, Bart's Attack, for example. He's tweeting my memes every single day. He gets a lot of engagement from that as well. And I had just the feeling and experience that these work really, really well when you post them, that other people get aware of Hex, of Richard Hart. And what I always like to do is use hashtags like Ethereum, Cardano, Bitcoin, even other hashtags where we normally don't think they would work. But this is exactly what is drawing those haters in. And when they see pictures like this, they just go crazy. So maybe this is something that you have to add to your chat, to your Telegram chat,
So
all my memes and all my GIFs.
Absolutely. And we're going to do that. And what I've noticed, though, is with Twitter and YouTube, when you add other community hashtags, it's generally not as effective because it's very concentrated and you have like big accounts with like 1 to 2 million already using those hashtags, getting in the front of the line. And also Twitter is sort of text, so it's not as significant. But it definitely helps. But TikTok, the results you get using other community hashtags are absolutely incredible. And I made a hashtag XRP video talking about how they're dumping on their community. Got between 2 videos, I think I got over 60,000 views in under 2 days, which is absolutely unbelievable. That is one thing I've noticed. So you can use hashtags to get straight to other crypto communities, which are the best potential on board, right? Because they already have MetaMasks, they have ledgers, they understand, they've used DeFi protocols, they've used decentralized exchanges. They're very they understand the cyclical nature of crypto and that it's not a scam and that it's not FTX. So the onboard is like very seamless and you could get directly to them. So I think it's an unbelievable thing.
For a long time, I thought onboarding people that are already in crypto is low-hanging fruits. And then later on, I changed my mind because I realized people that are in XRP, people that are in other coins, they love their coins. They believe in these narratives, They don't believe in no admin keys. They don't care about that. They care about their narrative. And that's why I realized it's even harder to onboard those people. And it's a little bit easier to bring in no coiners, people that have never heard about those amazing things that we are all talking about.
That's very interesting. So the thing is, I think bull market, I think no coiners maybe are better because they see people getting rich and they're like, I'm going to miss out. So I think that kind of gets this it creates this urgency to overcome the all the barriers to entry, right? They're going to learn about MetaMask. They're going to learn about, I mean, there's so much I learned during the bull market, just to get these, small cap gems on Uniswap and things like that. But during the bear market, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. That is interesting. You say that. That is interesting.
It's definitely not an easy answer. Like, somebody who is in Bitcoin for years and years and don't want and finally wants a good price bump, maybe he is then open to buy Hex, right? Something like this here, what we are seeing here, like the big Genesis whales are buying Hex again, different kind of Genesis whales, different kind of big wallets that we have seen. So what Psychedelics is saying here, Richard Hart made the update, V3 is coming soon. And then right after that, those big whales were buying. And I see that more and more on Twitter, that KTP says, for example, that the 100 biggest whales are buying Hex and stuff like this. Have you something interesting to say when it comes to whales buying Hex?
I don't follow the on-chain as much as maybe I should be. I do definitely look at the Hex alerts, and I think that also corresponds with the big influencers, starting to turn their attention to Hex. So that's something I've really been covering. You look at the trajectory that Hex is going on. It keeps on getting bigger and bigger. It keeps on onboarding more and more people. It's not going to stop here. It's only going to get bigger. It's going to go to eventually being covered by mainstream influencers, and then it will be covered in the mainstream in general, the same way like Bitcoin is covered by CNBC on the daily. I mean, if Hex keeps on onboarding and growing and compounding, there's no reason why it should be the exception. That's just the way the world works, and that's probably the way that is going to work with Hex, given the current trajectory, especially with the virality that it's achieving on TikTok, down 92%. So it's absolutely incredible. You just showed up on the screen, Ivan on Tech, and obviously BitBoy Crypto saying he's going to be adding, the RH projects there. The sky's the limit, man, and it's hard to even imagine. I think how far it could really go when the price is down so much. But
so that's a really short clip here of Ivan on Tech. Let's play that. Only 46 seconds, and I think it's really, really interesting.
Minus 3.1, so a bit of downward today. I think a lot has to do with the current situation with DeFi, guys. I think this is creating a bit of waves where investors are starting to question DeFi a bit, because what the hell? It's supposed to be decentralized. Some guys update the contract because they got a court order. What if Polygon gets a court order? They can take billions of dollars and give it to the court. Literally, if this is problem. This is a big problem, and we gotta go back to the principles of decentralization. No admin key. I mean, there is one project that has been doing it all along. That's why I'm waiting for Pulse Chain. With Pulse Chain and Richard Hart, he's been speaking about this for quite some time. And now the industry is coming to that point where we're realizing, what the hell, you cannot have admin key. If you have admin key, this is going to happen more and more and more. But anyway, we're going to get back to that. We will first look a bit at the market.
I think it's funny how on the side he was mentioning it, right? He was talking about the problems that DeFi protocols now have to hand over information to the government. And if there are admin keys, then they will do it. Then, there is no wall that they don't have to do it, basically. So we don't want to have admin keys at all. And then he just mentioned it on the side that Richard Hart is doing it all along correctly, and that's he's waiting for Pulse Chain. And we were just talking about the big whales that are coming in now. Ivan on Tech, you were mentioning BitBoy Crypto. So everything is going into the right direction, and there is no limit when it comes to how many people we can onboard and how high the Hex price really can go.
Yeah, it's like beautifully said. I agree with that 100%. It's hard to really imagine what's possible, but back in the early days of Bitcoin, it was also hard to imagine what was possible. But I think whatever happened with Bitcoin can happen with Hex, and that much more so, especially considering it is superior to Hex, but to Bitcoin. I'm sorry, Hex is superior to Bitcoin in pretty much every single metric. The question is, it's only just a matter of getting it in front of people, and that's what we're here for. What we do makes a difference. The game theory, the tokenomics, everything could be great, but if people don't know about it, then it won't get to where it needs to be. Which is sort of that mainstream adoption, but it is getting there. I mean, the trajectory looks up like I mean, things just sort of look like they're all falling into place. I mean, the puzzle is coming together, so to speak. So I really like what you said, and I really agree with everything that you said.
And I want to bring up this tweet here by your friend Somi. I love this dude so much. He's bringing out great content about Hex. And he is not a Hex maximalist, but he acts like one. And I think that's pretty funny. He also likes other coins like Chainlink, but I'm very convinced that by now Hex is his major position when it comes to crypto. And here's this picture here he posted. His point is that Bitcoin is awesome. Bitcoin is the main reason why we are all here, and it's the reason why we are all convicted that cryptocurrency is something good. But it's also in its third or fourth cycle, right? And as more cycles there are in a technology like this, as less are the gains. This is what Richard Hart is always saying. We have less pumps and less dumps. And what do you think, Furu? Is Hex going on the same way like Bitcoin? Because we have this chart here, where we clearly can see Hex is on the same trajectory like Bitcoin or Ethereum.
Yeah, it absolutely is. The story of the emergence is very similar in the sense that there's a very good community. I think there are many advantages. One is obviously that there's a founder. So you look at Bitcoin, it couldn't really keep up. I think a big thing that the Bitcoiners like to talk about is that there's no founder, so to speak. But I think there being no founder in Bitcoin is sort of leading to its demise in the sense that people that have big audiences, people that have a big microphone, because they have access to the television networks like Michael Saylor, although they don't know anything really about Bitcoin and about cryptocurrency and things like that, they sort of get to take the narrative. And being that obviously you have someone like Richard Hart, in a community that is, behind him like that, there is really no way of, some like mainstream, person, TradFi kind of person from Silicon Valley could really take the narrative and, basically drive the community away from the principles that it was established in. So I think that's a huge advantage. I think the game theory is a huge advantage. Obviously, the mining has become obsolete, and the little guy that Bitcoin, prides itself on sticking out for, on sticking up for, is sort of been left behind because he can't earn the inflation. You don't have that issue with Hex. So I think although the returns will diminish, the yield will always be there, and it will always be there will always be incentive to get in because anyone could earn the inflation, and it's a more superior system. So I think it's on the trajectory of Bitcoin, just better.
I think making money will never get out of fashion, and that's why Hex has such an amazing product market fit, because if you stake Hex, you get more Hex, and this is then eventually also worth more and can lead to financial freedom. And I think that's what everybody is after. So the next step, and this is the last one that I have prepared here, is something that you have shown me, because I was not aware of that myself. Here on Hex Daily Stats, if you scroll all the way to the right, what we are seeing here, that just yesterday, that they just jumped over, I believe just yesterday we had 300,000 more concurrent holders, and that's something truly amazing. I believe to have this jump of holders in one day is really something special, because normally we have like in the hundreds, but here we have 300 more people that joined. And I think Richard Hart is also almost at 300,000 followers on Twitter, so that's really something.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think one of the reasons is because we are doing such a great job with the community. So I want to get into a couple of questions, because the main reason what we are doing is that we want to onboard new people. And why don't we just answer a couple easy questions to make our viewers here, 50 people right now, understand how we are onboarding people that are new into crypto. So if somebody comes to you, Furu, and he asks, man, I've heard about so many things when it comes to this new digital currency. What is cryptocurrency? Is it money?
Cryptocurrency is something that you can buy for a little bit of money and sort of have a lot of money in a little bit of time. I mean, that's really what it is. It's actually not really such a good currency. Nobody would spend it. Part of what makes something a good currency is if it's spent, it's spendable, right? It's good for the economy. It's good for hiring workers. It's good for businesses. If people want to spend their money, obviously that doesn't mean it should be devalued at 5-10% a year, but it should probably not go up 10,000x in under 2 years. So that's what people don't realize. It's precisely, and this is something that Richard Hart talked about as well. It's precisely the fact that it makes a poor currency that makes it an excellent get rich quick currency kind of thing. So I mean that is the interesting thing about cryptocurrency.
And when you are in cryptocurrency, then at one point, I believe you have to ask yourself, what is money? Like, is Hex money? Is Bitcoin money? You already said no. Are NFTs, are these money? I see people are like saying really often, yeah, cryptocurrency, this is the best money, this is the best money. But like you said, it's not supposed to be money. And this also doesn't mean that we are against money, right? Money, and especially fiat money, really currency that is in your hand, like the dollar, is really needed. We cannot live and function as a society without that. So I hope that fiat currency will never go away. But with fiat currency, it's really easy. I have $5 here in my hand. I know where it is. Even if I put it into my bank account, I know the bank has the custody over it. So this leads me to the next question. What is if somebody asks you, where are my cryptocurrency? Where to store it? Where are they? To find?
Yeah,
so answer to this?
I mean, it's on the blockchain, but being in your wallet means that you have the ability to move it. You have control over it, and you can give it to other people's control, or you can obviously give it to exchanges in return for fiat money or other cryptocurrencies. So, I mean, that's really what it means. I mean, owning it means that you own the key, so to speak, meaning the ability to determine where it goes.
And when I talk about this specific topic, I'm always saying that if you own Bitcoin, for example, then you own a specific block space on the blockchain, and your seed phrase then enables you to go to this space and transfer this this ownership. Just like you said, this is what we can do. We can send, we can receive, we can tell somebody else is now owning this this block space. And Richard Hart just recently also said something really interesting when it comes to ownership. So I have it here. Let's bring that up. He is saying you can't actually own cryptocurrency. You can just think you are the only one that knows the key. This is true. Truly invalidates many laws and regulations. What if two people know a key? What if your random number generator was weak and made predictable keys? Happened in Bitcoin like numerous times. So what do you think? Is Richard Hart correct? Can you not own cryptocurrency? Because I have a different opinion on that.
I mean, if two people know a key, then yeah. But if that's why it's so important that you're the only one that knows it. I guess, I mean, you could say you can actually own. You can't just think you're the one. The truth invalidates many laws and regulations. I mean, I think he was maybe coming more from a legal perspective, kind of thing. I don't know exactly what he was trying to get at with that, but I mean, if we're talking like technically, maybe you don't own it, but you kind of do own it, because you could, the same way I own this water bottle, I can give it to someone or I can drink it. I mean, I have control over it. I have autonomy over it. So I mean, I guess maybe I don't know.
I think he was talking about this. Can you really own cryptocurrency? Well, it is not yours, right? We just said it is in the blockchain. But I have a different perspective on that, because I believe that you can actually not own anything in this world. You can only own cryptocurrency, because your seed phrase, this is such a special feature that we have in crypto that is so great and so powerful. So let's say you own a house. Then this house, is actually not really yours. The ground belongs to the government. They will take it away. If you start saying bad things about the government, if you're not paying taxes, then they will put you away, and they will just seize your funds, right? The only place where this is not possible is truly in cryptocurrency. I mean, yeah, the government will put you in prison, and then they will tell you, hey, give me your seed phrase, and then you will get out of prison, and then you will probably do it. But if you wanted to play the hero, you can just put the seed phrase away, not give it to them, and then the government has no chance of somehow getting this crypto. So this is why my point is, with a seed phrase, when you know you have done it correctly and are safe on that one, so the government is not able to hack the computer, for example, then this is something that you can truly pass over to the next generation without having a middleman involved, and in this case, the government.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I completely agree with that.
So we talked already a lot about Hex. What is your favorite game theory in Hex? For me, it was the staking in the beginning, because I'm now able to earn more Hex without the middleman. I'm able to lock away the funds from myself, so I'm not selling too early. But what is your favorite feature in the Hex game theory?
Yeah, I mean, as someone who's, so like in Bitcoin, obviously, there was 1 million X maybe, from bottom to top. But obviously, there was times in the beginning. I was actually talking about this with one of my patrons, but like there was a period of time in the beginning where it did a 10,000x, but there weren't, like, from the way I see it, like people going out there and flexing their Lambos and their their Rolls Royce and like all these luxury items and watches and things like that. Because, although the price went up that much, most people didn't get those multiples. Most people sold early. So, Hex obviously solves that. And the proof is that already in one cycle, you have so many people that have made life-changing wealth, including yourself. And that would not have been possible if not for the fact that you stake it. And then moreover, when you stake it, you're obviously not selling. And if you're not selling, then the price goes up more. So it is a positive feedback loop that just benefits everybody. It benefits the new people coming in because they don't get dumped on as much. And it benefits the people that came in earlier because they don't sell early, and they get to continue to benefit from the multiples. So I think I'm with you. I think that is the best part. And obviously, not to mention, on top of that, it's nice to get paid 38% APY on average. Absolutely incredible thing. It is something that is seemingly a Ponzi scheme, but with the advent of blockchain technology, it is now possible. And that is the importance of understanding Bitcoin, understanding blockchain technology, because then you can see 38% APY and understand that it's not a scam. Because obviously in the real world, and until 3 years ago, that is something that you would not be able to make that kind of money on your money without taking incredible risks. So it's an unbelievable system. It seems to be foolproof. It seems to just work in every way,
Let's talk a little bit about all those externalities of the legacy market. Why can a bank not provide us with 40% APY and keep on doing it without going bankrupt? I think it is because of the externalities. What are you saying?
Where would they get the money? I guess the way they kind of pay or yield is through it's through inflation. I guess it's not even them lending out their money. It's they get leveraged and then they lend out money and they and then they kind of give you back a little bit or something like that. But it's just not possible. Where's the money going to come from? They can't just print money and give it to you. And even if they did, if it wasn't a time lock, it would lead to hyperinflation. If you're giving people in the middle class 38% APY on their money, they're going to start, to crank up their spending habits and raise their standard of living, and that will really drive prices up. So the reason why the Hex printing could print you so much is because you're already, committing to not selling it, which allows price appreciation despite increase in the circulating supply, which is really incredible.
And so many people say there is no value in Hex. What does Hex actually do? And you said it so well, like the locking up of funds makes the price, some kind of safe. I know if I'm looking at this smart contract that there are 120,000 stakers, they are staked for an average of 7 years, and they will probably not exit because they are incentivized to hold. They are incentivized to say the truth. Otherwise, they get penalties. So I think this is like one of the major reasons. And then obviously banks have huge externalities, right? They have to pay the building, they have to pay the CEO, they have to pay all their employees, and so on and so on. And that's why I have the feeling they would never be able to pay us these kinds of returns.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. And that is absolutely true. They won't be able to pay those kinds of returns. I had a point on something that you said. I just totally forgot it.
One thing that you were mentioning when it comes to Bitcoin.
Oh,
Bitcoin
let me just say,
Yeah.
so like people say there's no value. It's like, are you going to say that there's no value in Bitcoin because you can't disaggregate the value in Bitcoin from the value of Hex? It's the same thing. It's a cryptocurrency that people buy and don't sell, and it goes up a lot. So, I mean, if you want to be a Peter Schiff and you want to sit on the sidelines and you want to kind of create your own, paradigm, impractical paradigm that, if you live by it, your investments will be poor, and his investments were poor, then you could create your own narrative that it has no value. But at the end of the day, Bitcoin has value. And for that same reason, Hex has value, only that it is superior. So that, sorry. Yeah, that's.
On my next question, we touched already a little bit. What are some benefits of staking Hex? And I mean, in Bitcoin, you cannot stake. You cannot stake at all, right? Like you don't have any incentives to do so, and that's why a lot of people in Bitcoin, they sold on a 10x, on a 100x, maybe even on a 1000x. But then it went up 6.5 million x. So only a few people were able to capitalize on these huge gains, and this is the reason why I think Hex is superior. Because in Hex, people lock up their funds for a long period of time to make sure they will have this price appreciation, right? What are some other benefits out of the top of your head when it comes to staking Hex?
Well, I mean, when people time lock, they know they're in it to win it. They're in it for the long haul. So that kind of makes the community stronger. You're going to go out and be more likely to create content, to engage on social media, to get in threads of like these other big accounts on Twitter that are discussing other cryptocurrencies, to get in the Twitter groups, to get on TikTok, to start creating TikToks and things like that. And you really see that playing out. And that's why, even though Hex is not yet the biggest community in crypto, when you're inside it, it really is hard to even believe that it's not, it's not even on TV yet. I mean, it just, the engagement is off the charts. And I think KDP and Havid Hex really often mention the social media metrics. The engagement's incredible. So I think that is kind of a feature of the staking. It is indirect, albeit, but it is.
I think so too. The staking is probably building the community stronger than any other marketing tool, right? The community is getting stronger. Why? Because we have less people leaving. I truly believe so. So when it comes to staking, then often Hexicans do staking letters. If a no-coiner would come to you to furufinance.com and would ask, what kind of staking ladder should I set up? What would be your answer?
Well, I mean, I'm a fan of the 15-year. I think that obviously, if there's something that I wish I would have done in the beginning, although it's not really, I mean, the thing is, so like, obviously now I made a lot of big stakes on the ladder, because when Hex was, at higher prices, it was seemingly bigger stakes. But, now that it's lower prices, I could have gotten, I could make a lot bigger rungs on the ladder. So I think obviously, considering the Ethereum gas fees, which hopefully will be solved, you would want to make bigger stakes in over longer periods of time. So maybe like once a year. But it all depends on everybody. I mean, everyone's situation is different. I have older people that, are already in their 70s. They're thinking maybe they want to go only 8-9 years. So, I mean, it's different for everybody. But I think even if you're older, you should at least have one 15-year stake. And you would want to try and make it bigger, and maybe less frequent unlocks. So maybe yearly unlocks, or twice a year. But if you get if you do 4 a year instead of 2 bigger ones or 1 big one, then the gas is gonna really run up on you. So that's what I'd say.
Exactly. I think this is what I would say as well. Make not too many stakes. Rather think about how long you want to delay gratification, how many stakes you want to make. Because I made this mistake in the beginning. I made way too many stakes. It's just not needed, because already one stake, when you make 10,000x, can be enough money for you to live off the rest of your life. And then it's really just to preserve the T-shares. And in order to do so, I'm saying, like, do one stake a year, maybe 2 stakes a year, and use the whole ladder. You know, you don't make only one stake, but make 15 stakes every year. One stake would be, I think, really good staking ladder. So you at least know every year you have something coming out. You don't need to emergency end stake. I think that's really important, because this is somehow what we are seeing. People emergency end staking, and I cannot realize what is going on in those people's head. Don't they know how much they lose when they emergency end stake?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's true. Like, they emergency end stake, they lose so much. And I wanted to say, for people that think that their stakes are too small, you have to put it into perspective. If you believe that Hex is going to continue going up and to the right, those small stakes are going to be not so small in a couple of years. So even if there's a high gas fee, if you take the USD value of the stake and multiply it by, let's say, 3,000-4,000x, right? Even if you're spending a couple $1,000s to unlock it, that will be dwarfed in comparison to the reward that you are unlocking when the stake comes up. So while I think it is more practical to do bigger stakes over longer time frames, you shouldn't be disparaged if you already have smaller stakes. I know I do, and you, Avid, obviously have that as well. But I think in the long run, I think it'll play out very well regardless.
Oh yeah, 100%. Especially with all the other products that we have built on top of Hex, right? If you make a Hex stack, now you're also earning Hedron, you're also earning Communes. Now we will get a copy of all our portfolio on Pulsechain, and this should give us some gas money to then go to the expensive network Ethereum to then end stake there our Hex.
That's absolutely a great point.
Let's see how the market in the future will decide where the people gonna stake. Will the people stake on the Ethereum network or on the new network Pulsechain, where it's basically for free to do so? And then let's see how the average staking duration will go up or down. It's gonna be really, really interesting. And one question that I always get asked as well when it comes to staking, we have now all those advanced usage of T-shares. I talked about HSI, I talked about Maxi and the perpetuals. Like, should we even do normal Hex stakes anymore, since we now have Maxi, since we have HSI stakes, for example? Like, some would argue there is no reason to make a 5-year stake normally go on go.hex.com if you can make a 5555 HSI stake. These are two different opinions. What do you make out of that?
Well, I say it's it's something to consider, implementing the derivatives, into your portfolio. Especially, I think Maxi a little bit more, because it does help with the gas fees. But the thing is that one of my favorite things about Hex is that you don't sell early, right? Everyone that got in early on Bitcoin, they sold early, and that being my favorite feature is non-existent on the perpetuals. So I mean that on the derivatives. So that is why I currently don't have any derivatives. I'm not saying I'm not gonna have it. I'm not saying it's not something to consider, especially if you could pick it up at a discount. But I think having an on-chain staking ladder is the most is the greatest assurance to really making that life-changing wealth. That's really what I think.
And I have the derivatives here prepared as well. Maybe not really prepared, because I have to click around. I just wanted to show that we are in a discount right now when it comes to Maxi, when it comes to Decky, for example. And just let's see really quick how big the discount is here. In a second, I will have to have it brought up. So there we go. If you are not owning any perpetuals, actually, this is a good situation for you, Furu, because other people like me, for example, we traded our Hex 1-to-1 for Maxi, for example, or for Decky. And in Maxi, we are still in a plus. Look, here was the one-on-one trade, right? And then today it is 114, so 14%. We are in the plus when it comes to Maxi. Maxi already did like a 2.5x when it comes to Hex. But here in Decky, we, I think, have even a better opportunity because Decky, from its 1-to-1 ratio, which was up here, is dropped now 20%. So if you're picking up Decky today, you're already 20% better off to doing it today compared to doing it like back then when there was the 1-to-1 ratio. So I think it's a really good opportunity because at the end, all that is just cheap T-shares, and this is what we are all here for, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And there are a lot of people that are complaining that the derivatives, they prevent Hex from pumping. I think that really, I mean, at a given time period, right, when they're trading at a discount, yes, technically, but you also have to factor in that those things got locked up and otherwise wouldn't have been locked up if not for, these derivative projects and stuff like that. So, I mean, over the long run, it does balance out because if it's at trading at a premium, people are going to sell it and buy Hex. That's really what arbitrage is. So I think it's overall just sort of balances out. And it's definitely something that you could implement, and maybe I'll consider implementing it, given that you're getting a 20% discount on the Desi for sure.
I think it's really worth looking into it, at least because I'm telling the people that are asking these questions that they should look into it to learn the concept of cheap T-shares. And once you grasp that, then it's basically a no-brainer.
Yeah, absolutely. And I actually broke down Maxi in my Patreon, so that's I had a good little lesson on that, on really how that functions, which is interesting.
Really interesting how all these perpetuals will play out in the future for sure. Let's go to our next topic, which is pull chain and why it is so great. Like when you have to give an elevator pitch to a new person to explain what pull chain is, like what would be your elevator pitch? What are the most important things to know about pull chain?
Well, the most important thing to know about pull chain, I mean, it's basically, it depends who you're talking to, I guess, but ultimately, there is a huge market for pulse chain. We know how bad the gas fees were, and obviously, pulse chain is going to be a cheap and affordable gas blockchain. And people say, yeah, there are other cheap blockchains, but obviously, none of them have, except now there's Ether and ETHW, but there's no activity there, there's no community there, and obviously it's proof of work, which is obsolete and bad for tokenomics. So there's no other one that copied the system state, right? So it has all the projects on Ethereum and it's cheap. And it's just a change of the network. So I mean, anyone could really use it. Like the onboarding is seamless. In fact, it's probably the best method of onboarding possible in blockchain. And you've seen what other layer ones have done. They've done well. They haven't had maybe quite the game theory that Pulse Chain is going to have, and they don't have the world's largest free airdrop, which is basically saying all the more so the reason why this is kind of a no-brainer to be a Moonrunner. And I've been saying this since I started my channel. I think Pulse Chain is going to be the story of the upcoming bull run. It's just the market's there. It solves one of the biggest problems in blockchain, which is scalability, which is the high gas fees and things like that. And it has a seamless method of onboarding in which any project could really just change, cross over, so to speak. So I think there are a lot of people are complaining that a lot of these projects on Ethereum have not made any. Have not said they were, or have either said outright that they're not going to use Pulse Chain, or they haven't said that they're going to use Pulse Chain. But I think when push comes to shove, and the community is complaining about spending $100, to make one transaction or one function on a project like DeFi and things like that, I think a good percentage of them, a surprising percentage of them, are going to consider using it. So I think it's going to be the biggest thing this upcoming bull market. Absolutely. I think
I believe
it's a
so
no-brainer.
too. I even have the feeling that Pulsechain will start the bull run. You know, nobody knows if the bull run is already started, but Pulsechain will come out. Everybody will be so enthusiastic. Everybody will hear about the biggest airdrop in crypto history. Then they will look over to their free coins and they will love it. And then I think the bull market will start. I mean, it would not be the first time that Richard Hart pulls something like that off. I mean, if you look back, even when Hex launched, I think that's where he brought innovation for the first time to crypto, right? He made a better Bitcoin, and then with Hex doing 10,000x, he really proved that you can earn Hex trustlessly just by staking. And nobody was using DeFi back then. And then Richard Hart introduced liquidity in Uniswap, right? We had the biggest liquidity out of all projects on Uniswap for months. So nobody was using it. Then the Hexicans were using it. And then the bull run really started when everybody understood how amazing DeFi is. And Hex was there right from the beginning. And I have the feeling that something like this will happen again with Pulsechain, where the whole crypto market sentiment changes, seeing Hex and Richard Hart as a scammer, and then, wow, it is actually an amazing product without admin keys, and now let's all invest in this. At least this is my feeling when Ivan on Tech, when BitBoy Crypto and all these other big names really will start talking about it.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you. I mean, it's just the trajectory, right? That's where it's going.
Here's the last question that I have before we look a little bit into furufinance.com. We have so many great projects building on top of Pulsechain. I think over 200 projects by now. And one of my favorite ones are Power City, Liquid Loans, and Famous. Had you had a chance to look into them a little bit?
Yeah, so I mean, I know they're doing interesting stuff, and Liquid Loans is something that I am more familiar with, and I actually talked about in one of my Patreons. The thing is, so like it is a good protocol. I missed out on the Pulsechain sacrifice. It's hard for me to imagine that the token is going to outperform the Richard Hart ones. So I stick with them. But obviously, there are definitely some very exciting things being built on Pulsechain, and definitely some interesting things to look into. But I think the opportunity is still with Pulsechain, PulseX, and I'm definitely going to want to load up on that. And I'm loading up on Hex right now. But it's definitely some interesting protocols, especially Liquid Loans is it's something that's copying something that already works, and it's already providing a lot of value on Ethereum. And it doesn't have the VC kind of thing where they get in pennies on the dollar on the ICO so to speak that happened with Liquidity, right? So that is very interesting.
Oh, 100%. And like you said, I think not every Hexican looked into these projects because they maybe do not see the true value of it. And maybe they also think, does it really going to outperform Pulsechain? Does it really going to outperform PulseX? And here's something that we really have to consider, because I think we are in a pitfall if we are thinking like this. So let's look here at coin market cap. We have layer one. We have BNBs and other layer one, XRP, Cardano, right? These are all layer ones. We don't have any dApp up here. The first dApp that we see is here Uniswap on place 18. So right now it is true that the narrative is layer one must be most expensive, most important. And I think this is something that Richard Hart can really change with PulseX. Having a dApp that is more expensive or goes up more in price than the layer one is something that we will see, especially with PulseX, because I believe it is just the best project in the Richard Hart ecosystem. But when it comes to all those small projects that we have, Power City, Liquid Loans, first of all, they're bringing amazing technology to us, to our ecosystem. Now we are able to not sell our Pulsechain, but still derive some value. And then something else that is really important when it comes to these projects is that they are introducing native stable coins to our ecosystem. We are not dependent on USDC, for example, or even DAI. Because Richard Hart said DAI will die on Pulsechain, right? And Liquid Loans, Power City, they are able to provide us with a native stable coin that is true DeFi without admin keys. And this is why I like them so much. And I think on Power City, the sacrifice is still open if somebody chooses to do so. But obviously, that's no endorsement, no financial advice. Everybody has to do their own research.
Yeah, that is true. And it is interesting that layer ones are all on the top in CoinMarketCap. But Hex is an L2, and it's really outperformed all of them. So that's not to say that L2s can't outperform L1s. I think, in fact, you know, in the long run, I think obviously Hex is going to outperform everything. I think Hex is going to outperform Pulse Chain, you know, over a bigger time frame. So I guess the overall thing is that a lot of people say layer ones are number one, but in fact, Hex outperformed all of them, and it's an L2. So, you know, that's just something to consider when looking at what could be the best performers in a given bull market.
The thing is, only you know that Hex outperformed like a lot of other layer ones, but the normal crypto market doesn't know that yet because they are looking at sites like CoinMarketCap, and CoinMarketCap is corrupt. I really would like to see this changing in the future.
Oh yeah, and did you see Crypto Mason tweeted about CoinMarketCap saying that they're gatekeeping? So that was another thing I forgot to mention. Like Crypto Mason has been, you know, he couldn't stop talking about Hex recently, which is huge. I mean, I love TikTok. He's one of the most viral crypto accounts on TikTok. Coincidentally, once his Binance partnership ended, he started really calling out CoinMarketCap for gatekeeping, like tagging them. So that's going to be very interesting to see how that plays out. But I don't see the gatekeeping happening for much longer, especially seeing what's going on.
And I think Crypto Mason, he also just recently talked about Pulse Chain, that Pulse Chain is going to be an amazing layer one, and like just doing tweets like this, really beneficial, I think, to our ecosystem for sure. All right, so we've been talking a lot now about all our beloved coins, and we have not talked too much yet about furufinance.com. So let's talk about that a little bit. Why did you think like this was such an important thing to do, and how is it going?
It's going very, very well. I've been doing one-on-ones. Obviously, anyone could schedule a free call with me, and then I've been doing like hour consultations. You know, teaching people about obviously Hex and RH ecosystem, and you know, people want to learn about, you know, just crypto, blockchain technology in general, and other things. You know, so I love teaching. I think I'm kind of I think I was kind of put on this earth to be sort of a teacher. It's something that I really like doing, and I've been working so hard, and at the same time, I've been enjoying it so much more than I ever had. And I think that's really what that's really it, when it comes to like having a good work ethic. It's really only possible to be sustainable doing something you love, and this is something that I love. So I'm really enjoying it, and what really gives me pleasure is when people start understanding these things. You know, when it snaps together and people are like, I get it. And things become clear and things like that. And that is what happened when you were watching live. That was something interesting with the liquidity pairings, when people were talking about it was Hart's Law lesson, which is actually on my YouTube, which people can check out. I also have articles, you know, covering various things, either in macros or in you know, just the general RH ecosystem, which are good. Well, I've been slacking on that a little bit. It's not the end. I will continue doing that, which you guys could check out there as well. And obviously, there's a link to my Patreon, which has courses, which anybody could check out. So I appreciate you sharing this.
The Patreon so far I have not found, but we will do that in a second, I guess. Where do we find the Patreon link?
Oh, it's on benefits and discounts, I think. If you go up on the top, I should just write Patreon, but then join.
Become a Patreon. So people have access to or have the possibility to find your Patreon. Do you also have maybe a Telegram group where the people can connect? What are all the other platforms that you're utilizing to bring your community together and communicate with your community?
So I have, through the Patreon, you access the Discord. So there's that, which is really good. And obviously every Sunday there's a Zoom meeting with myself and all the members, which is awesome. And the recording gets posted on the Patreon as well. So, and obviously tomorrow we're having a course going to be delving into proof of stake, and then maybe even delving into Hex. And then probably the next course would be Pulse Chain, PulseX. If you join now, you could sit in live for the course. And if you join later, or you want to see one of the earlier courses, all the recordings are posted. And I'm very proud of it, I guess, so to speak, because, you know, it's really helped people understand blockchain, which is a little bit overwhelming because it's very abstract. It's something that you can't really see. So, having that, whiteboard, that drawing board to really bring things to life is huge. It's something that a lot of people don't utilize, and it could give a huge advantage over, just verbally trying to explain something, just visuals and things like that. So it's something that I'm very proud of, and hopefully I'll continue to add to it. But yeah, a lot of people that otherwise would have been blockchain laymen are sort of, black belts, so to speak, in blockchain terms and things like that. And it's something that I never thought I'd reach this kind of level of understanding. But it's if I could do it, anyone could do it. It's really not that difficult. It's just new. That's really the way to explain it. It's new, and when something's new, the information is not sort of ubiquitous where you could access it anywhere easily yet. It's still fringe. But if you take the time to understand it, you have a huge edge, in the investing world and in investing in cryptocurrency, because most people don't, and most people end up sort of getting taken advantage of by like the mainstream influencers and the mainstream media, and they can't really discern what's good from what's bad and things like that. So I think I provide that value. I think you obviously have been excellent providing that value, and it's something I'm very proud of. So I appreciate you sharing that.
And do you maybe have an interesting story to tell, or experience from yourself, or experience from one of your customers that they know can share with with us?
Well, anything like in particular, the experience that I had was I actually did the Ethereum course, and I had the whiteboard next to me, and I actually have it next to me right now over here. But somebody asked what's Hart's law, right? Like, what's Hart's law? And that's something that even when I saw Richard Hart explaining it, I didn't really get it. And lucky for me, the whiteboard was right there, and I was able to just pull it over and just in a very clear and concise way with visuals, explain why the markets move in tandem. That is one of Richard Hart's greatest philosophical contributions to the crypto space. I think market cap being a vanity metric, and Hart's law were two of the most incredible, philosophical innovations to crypto. It's something that nobody really understood until he talked about it. And for me to really be able to bring it to life, to bring it to visuals, is really a great privilege, and it's something I'm really proud of. It's posted in the YouTube. Anybody could see it. If anybody's are you able to pull up that thumbnail? I really like the thumbnail also that I made. It's called "What is Hart's Law?" It's a video that I made explaining why when Ethereum goes up, why when Bitcoin goes up, Ethereum goes up, and all other cryptos go up. So I really break it down on the whiteboard, and it's something that I'm really proud of.
So first, let's go to the video that we are watching all together right now. In the video description, you find all the links that you need to know in order to follow up the stream. FuruFinance.com. We have your Linktree, Twitter, and your YouTube channel. That's where we are going right now. And what is the video that you want to show us here?
It's what is Hart's law? So it's a little bit down. Got a lot of clips from Johnny Chaos and Funding Jim and right there. Yeah, that was really bringing it to life. And you see the pop-up for the subscribe button, which actually you were so kind to send to me. So I really appreciate that. So if anybody's having trouble understanding Hart's law, that's really something I would recommend, and something that I'm really proud of. So.
And I don't know if it was specifically this episode that I was watching, but I was watching an episode of you using the whiteboard, and I realized, have you been in the field of ambulance? Have you been a doctor in the past, maybe, or do you ever wanted to be a doctor or anything?
Yes,
like this?
Sir. I was. I finished. I graduated in accounting, and I actually went back for pre-med. So I took chemistry. I took Chem 1. I took Chem 2. I took Bio 1. I took Orgo.
Somehow I knew that. You know why? Because your handwriting on that board was just terrible. You need to write bigger, way bigger, so we can see it. Like, this
I'm
is the
so
feedback
sorry,
that
man. Oh, now I feel bad. But yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. It's interesting also, like the way that the pairings change as the ratios trade. It's kind of similar to chemistry of the bonds changing, with added heat or whatever it was. But that was something that I pointed out while I was explaining it. But you're gonna have to zoom in maybe. But
what is interesting with
definitely
Hart's law, you said that this was one of the biggest contributions of Richard Hart, right? Like market cap is a vanity metric and Hart's law. And today it is so easy for me to understand Hart's law. We have liquidity version 3, right? With that, and that we just are in a lot of assets where we see this bonding playing out. It's easy for us to understand, especially since we have this leader, Richard Hart, explaining it to us. But he was talking about Hart's law already when we had version 1 of Uniswap, version 2 of Uniswap, where the liquidity was spread out entirely, right? And there it was not that clear that this liquidity bonding was the reason why all the assets move up and down. But Richard Hart was really early already able to see that and understand that. And I think that's really, really great. And that speaks really good of him, I believe.
Yeah, if there's one thing one word you could use to describe him, it's early.
He is truly a visionary, able to see things that the normal market is not able to see. Because, you could argue that Hex is maybe not an innovative product at all. It already exists in the legacy market. We already have Bitcoin, so why do you need Hex? These are all the things that the haters are saying. But Richard Hart was able to do something to bring those things together and also introduce a community. And I think that's exactly what then made Hex so successful. And now he's doing it again with Pulse Chain. I mean, everybody can fork Ethereum, right? And just do the things that Richard Hart is doing, but nobody can fork the community. And from day one, we will have a community already cheering on for Pulse Chain. Everybody sacrificed, everybody is really, really happy, and now wants to onboard more and more and more. And I think this is going to be something truly amazing once it comes out.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with everything you say. It's amazing. Yeah, community is the most important thing, and that's something that's there already. So it's going to be a very unique fork. It's not going to be like any other one, which is a ghost chain that maybe gets sort of a hype cycle and then community is gone. Just the time locking of the Hex kind of, rolls over into Pulse Chain because people aren't leaving Hex and therefore they're not going to leave Pulse Chain. So it's awesome.
But I truly believe people will sell their Pulse Chain or Pulse X too early, maybe on 100x, maybe on 1000x. There is no locking up mechanism for Pulse Chain. There's no incentivization to hold and earn more coins. Well, there is the single side staking, but you're not locked like in Hex,
Yes.
right? It's truly something special that we have there with Hex, and this is what people will not have in Pulse Chain. So they really now have to show their diamond hands in order to make those amazing gains. 14,000x in 2 years. This is what I'm looking for.
Yeah, I agree. I love that you said that because even people want to say that Pulse Chain is going to run harder, which maybe it will. But this idea that you're going to benefit from the multiples, you're going to get in on the bottom and out at the top, I think the idea that anybody could do that is, especially somebody that doesn't have, enough money to, self-sustain and delay gratification. I think it's a little bit delusional, so to speak. But if you have that Hex staking ladder, you have that self-assurance that you are going to benefit from all the multiples that it's going to have in the future. And I think those multiples are going to be really good. But I guess we're just going to have to wait and see.
So Z is saying here, so happy to have sacrificed for Pulse Chain and Pulse X. Super happy to be Pulse Chain OG. I mean, this is amazing. You are able to be in this technology from the early on, and we know that early investors are benefited highly, very, very highly. And somebody is also saying that they will see me at the yacht here. Abel Hex, looking forward to meet you and all the other Hexicans on the cruise. Going to be a celebration going on, price pumping, Pulse Chain coming, exactly like all those things are gonna happen. And here on pumphex.com, if you go to projects, Here you see it's only 54 more days until the Hex Cruise, and here you can click on Hex Cruise on pumphex.com. You can also watch videos where we talked about Hex Cruise, so you know what is going on. And if you're going to hexcruise.com, which is the third best domain that we have in hex.com being the first one, and pumphex.com being even a little bit better, I believe. But anyways, if you go to room types and you see that rooms are available, this really means that you can still participate in the Hex Cruise. I think a ticket for $699 for a 4-day vacation, paid food, paid drink already in there. It's actually pretty good price. And here are other rooms available as well. If you guys still want to participate in the Hex Cruise, then you are welcome to do so.
That's
all right.
unbelievable.
We talked now for 1 hour, 15 minutes. Furu Finance, what are some things that you want to push out to community? What do you think the community really needs to know? What are your last words for the stream today?
So I think that when it comes to the community, probably the biggest, the weakest link, so to speak, I guess, like the most lagging metric was marketing. I think marketing was very strong, and the effort put into marketing and the money put into marketing was very admirable. But I think the way it was allocated was a little bit lacking. In the sense that when you want to go viral, when you want to get in front of people, the way to really do it is through TikTok. I mean, TikTok is the most trending social media, the most trendy social media platform of 2023, of the 2020s. I mean, TikTok is where you go viral. It doesn't happen on YouTube anymore, and people think that it's just kids, there's no money on that. It's not true anymore. Kids are, they understand it more, and they're able to use the trends to go viral more to their advantage. So, but adults are on it, and I think even the kids that watch it, they all have parents. And Andrew Tate, for example, is a great example of organic virality achieved in short form content. It's somebody who's went viral, using TikTok. And I remember Joe Rogan was talking about how he doesn't like Andrew Tate, but his kids love him. And I would want Joe Rogan's kids watching Richard Hart and loving Richard Hart. I think it's something that's definitely more palatable for the mainstream. But I think people have to understand that the best way to market, the most effective way to market, is not by spending a lot of money, trying to get in, commercials and things like that. And I'm not trying to discourage that. I think maybe that might even have its role, but the most effective, the most cost-effective, the most effective way of marketing and achieving virality is TikTok, short form content. And it is where the trend is set. It's not YouTube 2010 anymore. The current paradigm, you cannot disaggregate TikTok and virality. TikTok is virality, and the amount of engagement that we're getting there on the group chat is absolutely incredible. I would have never imagined that since I got on at the Hex conference, my words would have made such a big difference. My words, and obviously everyone's efforts, would have made such a big difference, where we're getting tens of millions of views on Richard Hart. We're getting Crypto Mason, the biggest crypto TikToker, to be talking about Richard Hart frequently. I wouldn't have imagined that happening. And that's when the price is down 92%. So the best thing that anybody could do is to create short form content and to support those that are doing that. So it's happening. It is the best form of outbound marketing. It is the best way to achieve virality. When you talk about Hex being pre-viral, the difference between pre-viral and post-viral, it's not a television interview anymore. It's not an interview with a big mainstream person. We've already gotten Richard Hart on television. We've got him on Jordan Belfort. Big, like, mainstream people. It didn't make it go viral because there is so much information out there. There are so many people fighting for your attention that just one hour interview is seemingly insignificant in the current day and age. You need to get in front of people constantly, and the way to do it is TikTok. TikTok is a very sophisticated algorithm that processes content that people spend time on, right? When people watch the duration of the thing, they keep serving it. They keep on getting it in front of people. And that's why you see Yori Hex has more followers on TikTok than pretty much anybody, even like the biggest influencers, Hex influencers on YouTube. And that's in the Albanian niche. It's not even, catering to Americans, although there is some good English stuff, but it just goes to show the effectiveness of outbound marketing through TikTok. Yori is doing it right. That's the way we need to do it. Twitter and YouTube are important, but those aspects of marketing are not lagging. It's very strong. It's strong to the point where like any single one of us leave Twitter or YouTube, it'll self-sustain. New people will come in. But TikTok, it's been getting way better. I'm super impressed by how far it's gotten. Over 300 people in the group in just a short period of time, maybe 2 months. But that's got to continue. And the combination of the price appreciation and the frequent TikToks, the frequent using of crypto hashtags is going to throttle Hex into virality beyond our imagination. And it's only outbound from there. It's going to go from TikTok to television to everything that people are dreaming of, all the interviews that people are dreaming of seeing Richard Hart on, their favorite content creator. It starts from TikTok. It doesn't start from mainstream forms of marketing. So I think that's the single most important message to get across is TikTok, TikTok, TikTok. The trend is your friend. TikTok's the trend. Get on TikTok. But yeah.
I'm 100% with you. TikTok is really where even I get the most views. Yori Hex gets the most views there. And you were mentioning all these other marketing efforts that we are doing. We had a NASCAR, for example, that cost a huge amount of money. Our team, Crypto Sparbuch, did the US road trip here, for example. Right? This also huge money. Obviously, we were able to bring the community together. We were able to do a lot of other things. The crew is not that expensive anymore. But what I have here, the download section, just downloading those business cards, for example, and giving them away, direct marketing, downloading the Richard Hart videos and posting them everywhere. TikTok, a really important tool. And I just put the link of your TikTok, of your Telegram group into the chat again, Hex, TikTok, and YouTube Shorts.
Sandy.
What do people get when they enter this Telegram group?
So it's unbelievable support. It's a great, if any people have a lot of questions, because, even I'm in my 20s. I didn't grow up on TikTok even. So a lot of people that want to make TikToks, either of themselves or Richard Hart or maybe myself or you, but they don't really know how to do it. They don't know where to get started. There are so many people in there that are just engaging, that are, helping everyone out, that are giving great support. So I think it's an incredible thing for that. It's also important to understand that the algorithm, like I said, is very sophisticated, and it picks up, when there's engagement, it keeps promoting, because the goal of any social media platform is to keep you on the platform as long as possible. So if they see that there's a sort of hashtag or a sort of content creator that people stay on, right, that people keep watching, they're going to keep on feeding it. And that's why people go viral so quickly, so many times. And that's why Richard Hart is kind of going viral on TikTok and things like that. So I don't know what can't even tie it together.
It would really be great if you can use. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry. What I was saying is that, so basically whenever there's a content creator, especially smaller ones that, feel like it's hard for them to reach people, all you have to do is, once you create your TikTok, link it in the Telegram, and everybody goes on it, reposts it, likes it, and comments on it. And that really drives engagement. We have people with like 50, 60 followers getting tens of thousands and sometimes hundreds of thousands of views on a given TikTok. And that's really helped a lot by the Telegram. So it's both, learning, support, how to create TikToks, ideas of what sticks and what doesn't. There are a lot of methods that, sort of things that you could implement that have been getting a lot more viewership than, typical videos, whatever. So like seeing what sticks and seeing how to get started, and also just getting more engagement on your videos. It's really incredible. So if you're not a content creator, you get in the chat, and when someone posts, just click on it, click on the link and like and repost and things like that. So it's good for people that are content creators and not content creators. And I hope everyone's a content creator, though.
Exactly. And this is why I want to encourage everybody to become a content creator. TikTok, Twitter is the least that you should do, because that's where you get all your information, right? And then YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. TikTok is really where it's at. I want everybody to start something. And you can go to X, TikTok, and YouTube Shorts, download content, and then just post it, do it regularly. And then maybe later on you get into creative content yourself as well, and just create content yourself. I mean, this would be the dream if just Hexicans start becoming content creators, bringing out the word, and then this is really bringing the virality, I believe, really, really quick.
Yeah, absolutely. And the marketing's outbound. I see a lot of haters in the comments, and that tells me that we're getting in front of new eyes. So that's really, the positive spin. That's really the way to look at it. And I think people are doing an amazing job on TikTok, and obviously Yori is killing it on TikTok, getting like 14, 15,000. I wish some other of these beautiful girls on Twitter. There are a lot of like gorgeous women that are on Hex Twitter. Why are they not on TikTok? Like, they have such an edge over people like myself and, the other men and things like that. And I think they could really use it to their advantage to really go viral and take this thing to another level. Not to obviously downplay the work they've been doing on Twitter. A lot of them have been putting out amazing information, which I use for the show. But they should consider, TikTok. I think it's really, really effective, and they'll get a lot more. Engagement for their efforts. I really think so. And
why do you think that is? That women have such an advantage over men when it comes to the numbers?
I think because especially the Hexican women are very good looking, and I think that really helps. I mean, there's no doubt about it. Especially for something like TikTok as opposed to Twitter, where Twitter is more text and TikTok is more visual. So I think that's really something that they should consider using to their advantage. And I think it'll really help pump their bags and bring Hex mainstream. I think when people see that there are beautiful women in the community, I really think it helps the trend, and I really think it makes a huge difference. And it's been making a huge difference on Twitter, but it could really go a lot further on TikTok. So I mean, that's really what I'd say.
Latest is asking, where is the Telegram link? I just posted it into the chat here again. Maybe because I'm using StreamYard, it actually not goes to the chat. That's totally possible as well. Furu, where can people find the Telegram link for Hex YouTube Shorts?
I should be putting it in my description, but or I should pin it to my Twitter. But I think you just posted it, right? So
it's on the screen right now. Maybe you just have to type it into your Telegram. I don't know if people can see it in the chat. All right, man. 1 hour 30 stream. Thank you so much for everything that you are doing. Thanks for being here on the stream today with me and all our viewers. If you guys liked what you see, please hit the like and subscribe, and also hit the bell. That would really help in kicking the algo. And then please visit furufinance.com and maybe book a session today. If you know that you want to invest in crypto, but you are maybe unsure yet, then it's really important to do every single step right from the get-go, because this could save you a lot of money. Furu Finance, thanks for being here. I will now play the outro, and then we are out of here.
Thank you. Like and subscribe, everyone.
And God only knows what great things we could manage under such conditions. We're becoming incredibly technologically powerful. And what would it be what would it be like if we became equally wise? Well, that would really be something. God only knows what we could manage in the next 20 years or the next 100 years, We're running at 40%, most of us, because we're half in and half out. And it's not surprising, because life is difficult. It's like, well, what if you were 90% in? Or 95% in, or all in, because you're all in anyways, right? It's a life and death game. No one gets out of this. Everyone dies. You might as well commit yourself, and you might as well commit yourself to the highest good that you can attain, because why not? It'll imbue your life with meaning. It's hard, the responsibility's there, but all the meaning's in the responsibility, and that'll make your life better. It'll make your family's life better, and it should make your culture better. Maybe it make the world better. It's like, that'll justify your damn miserable existence at 3 o'clock in the morning when you're wondering what the hell you're doing here. And that's a good thing, because there's going to be days when you're aching and tired and sore, and there's people in your family that are sick, and you're cynical and bitter, and you need a reason to get up, and you think, yeah, well, a little more heaven and a little less hell, maybe I can pull that off today and tomorrow and next week. And that's worth struggling forward for.